Hello everyone, this is Douglas King, the creator of the Golden Week comic series. This is a video tutorial made for the Learning to Draw group at sofurry.com. A link to the group is in the video description below. This is an abridged video, which will be a series of short video tutorials on how to draw. If the video was too quick to follow, left you with doubts or critique, let me know by commenting on the comment section below, or follow the link to the forum thread and comment over there. With that in mind, enjoy this brief class and have fun. Drawing 101, Lesson 1, Sketching and Grid Method. Let's practice some soft short strokes. Draw some vertical and horizontal lines. Try to keep them as straight as possible. Also try some diagonal lines in all directions. Starting from down and going up, and then up and going down. Try always. All the ways. Then let's use those soft and short strokes to build up shapes like the square, the triangle, the circle. Also, let's try variations of these forms like a rectangle, a skewered triangle, and oval shapes. Practice all of these. Also, remember to keep your strokes as soft as possible. That way, when you are finishing the drawing, you can erase those easier than if you do a hard stroke. It'll take more, it'll be harder to erase those. You should be wondering though, why do I need to learn basic geometric shapes to draw something? Well, you should, because these basic geometric shapes will be helping you. For example, here I'll be drawing an eye. I'll begin by drawing this rectangle, then dividing it in 8 equal parts, and then this lower left part here I'll divide it in 2, and this last part I'll divide in 2 again. Now, what I'll do is highlight some points where these lines will be connecting, like this point, this point, this point right here, this one right here, and this point right here. Now, I'll use those curved short strokes to connect those points. And by doing that, the eye will begin to come to shape. You can see this here. Now in these last 2 points, instead of doing curved lines towards the center, I'll do reverse it. So these lines will actually be towards outside to connect these 2 points right here. I'll do a reverse line like this. Now I'll use this and this 2 points as guides to draw a circle. So I'll do soft short strokes and do a circle that uses those 2 guidelines, those 2 points as a boundary. And then I'll be done with my eye. Now just use the eraser to take off all those sketching lines, the grids we drew, and then we'll have a eye drawn, like so. You should be wondering though, where did I got these lines and that grid thing from? Well, they didn't come from nowhere. For that, I picked this photo of an eye out of Wikimedia Commons, then I drew over it. I traced the lines of the eye, the circle, everything, and then I drew a grid over it and began dividing this grid until I got points that where the lines meet each other. Like this point right here, I can see that this line meets with this line. Then at this point, these two lines meet. And at this point and this point right here, this line meets and this line meets with this line, which goes up here. In fact, this line, this point right here and this right here, they make one single line, but this line isn't straight from one point to another. It makes a curve all passing through this point right here. Then it goes up and then goes back down, making this curve. Using all those guidelines, I could manage to isolate the shape of an eye into an easy to remember grid. And then I can use this grid whenever I want to sketch a new eye whenever I want. So all I have to do is draw that grid again, and then I'll just need to draw an eye. Simple as that. Now to bring that whole grid drawing into effect, I'll do the same thing with an wolf eye. To do that, I picked this wolf picture out of Wikimedia Commons, then I zoomed in onto the left eye. Simple as that. Then I drew over it, same thing as I did with the other eye, and then I drew a grid over it. You'll notice that this grid is different from that other one. How does that work? For this grid I will need a square, not a rectangle, just a square. And then I'll divide it in 3 columns and 3 rows. And then I'll divide the first column and the first and last rows in 2, like so. And then I'll highlight the points I'll be using to connect those lines. And these points are right here, right here, right here. This upper half is useful as well, and right here, and then right here. I'll just need to connect all those points. So by using this grid we just studied, I'll be drawing another eye. First, I'll draw a square, like I said, a square, not a rectangle. Then I'll divide it in 3 rows and 3 columns. I'll divide the first column in half, then the first and last row in half as well. And I'll highlight some points now, but I'll be highlighting more later. First, those 3 in the leftmost bottom square, this one in the middle of the leftmost top square, and this one right across it on the other side of the square on the edge. Now I'll be dividing this square in half using a vertical line and the right column in half as well. For this, now I will be doing a highlight here using this line I just drew. These are all the highlights we'll be needing to do the eye outline. Let's connect all the points. All of them except for one you'll be using curves towards the center of the drawing. Let's begin. I'll first connect this point to this one right here. Then I'll connect this point to this one right here, going across this point on the top. So this should be one continuous line, like so. Then I'll connect this one and this one right down here. And now I'll use a reversed curve. Instead of going inwards, go outwards on these 2 points right here. And now, for this last one, I'm not going to do a straight line between those 2 points. I'll be doing a curve that goes around this edge. So it should look like this. It's kind of half of a circle. Now, for the eye, the iris, I'll use this highlight we already had, and now I'll use this new one, using the center line we drew, and the last highlight is here on that third column midline we drew before. Now I'll draw a circle that goes through all these 3 points. So if we are going to study this, we should be saying that there should be a point up here, but let's not focus on that. Let's just focus on this one right here. A curved short stroke that goes down to this one and then up here, and it keeps going and should complete a circle, but we won't be completing this circle because we need it. And now I'll erase the grid, and then there we have it, a wolf eye drawn using the grid method we just learned. Like so. Now, if you compare this eye we just drew to that one from the photographic reference, you'll notice it's basically the same thing. Using the grid method, we could take the eye shape, isolate it into a easy to remember shape, then we made divisions into it where we could find highlight points we could use to easily draw the shape later on, like so. Now that we learned how to draw an eye using the grid method, let's practice drawing more eyes using this grid method, and then let's practice drawing eyes but flipped using the grid method. That way you can draw both the left and the right eye accurately. All you need to make sure is to keep the squares and the grids the same size. By making sure you keep both the same size, your eyes will always be proportional to one another. Once you feel more comfortable with the grid method, begin by drawing the eye without using the inner divisions of the grid, but just the outline. And this concludes our lesson in drawing, sketching, and using the grid method. Remember to keep practicing these eyes using the grid method, and once you feel more comfortable with the grid method, try to draw the eyes with more details outside the grid, like the creases under and above it, the eyelashes, some more details on the iris, everything you can think of. Keep practicing, that's the only way you'll get better at that. In the next class, we'll keep discussing the sketching process and the grid method, and we will also begin practicing drawing heads. If you had any doubts during this class, leave a comment below or on the forum thread. This was Douglas King, thank you very much for watching.